Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see very important articles that appeared in our today's newspaper, guys. And before getting started, I want to make a small announcement. We in our academy we are going to start new batch for prelims cum mains foundation from this 15th of this September, guys. So if you want to join either online, you can contact us for more details. You can contact us or you can directly come to our institute, which is located in Ashok Nagar, Hyderabad. And you can call us on the number which is displayed on the screen, guys. Okay, now let us see the first article. See the title. Trump Modi signal trade talks may resume. So this article is talking about what? It is talking about India-US relations, right? So this article is talking about India-US relations. And from which subject it is important? Yes, it is important from your GS paper 2, and that is from especially international relations point of view. Okay, now let us see what is happening between India and US. Are the relations normal between India and US? No. So what is the reason behind this? So reason behind this tensions between India and US relations is due to 50% of tariff. So in this 50%, 25% of tariff which is imposed by US to make trade balance between India and US, it is a part of protectionism. That is nothing but protectionist policy of this Donald Trump. And again, other 25% is imposed on our Indian goods as part of Russian Sanction Act of 2025 to hit this economy of Russia hard, right? So actually, here this article is saying that between India and US, we have lots of tensions because of this 50% of tariffs US started imposing on this Indian goods. When it came into existence or when it had been started from 27th of August. From 27th of August, imposition of this 50% of tariff on Indian goods had been started, and because of this it is having huge impact on our economy. So here now this article is saying that we are going to have talks between India and US regarding this tariffs. Okay, so here, is this a good move or not? Yes, it is a good move. So how it is going to impact our country's economy? So if there is any decrease of tariff on Indian goods, obviously it will be boosting of our exports to again US, so that which sectors will be getting benefited now. So textiles and garments. Next one is gold and jewelry. And apart from that, pharmaceuticals are exempted from this tariff. So pharmaceuticals will be not get benefited now. And leather industries, especially shrimp industries of AP, they will be getting benefited if this talks goes in a right way, and if this talks decreases tariffs between India and US. Okay, so now let us see exactly what is given in this article. And even we are talking about economy, unemployment, certain sectors, right? So this article is also important from your GS paper 3 under economy point of view. Okay, now let us see the context. Trump and Modi have publicly signaled that India-US trade talks will resume soon. So we are going to have trade talks between India and US. So actually, what is the aim of this trade talks? It is to de-escalate recent tensions which caused by increasing of tariffs on Indian goods. And even there are certain disputes which are going on between India and US. Because of this, India is purchasing 40% of crude oil from this Russia. So we are going to de-escalate these tensions through this talks soon. Okay, so if you see some important details, you are saying that both leaders announced that we are going to start negotiations. Especially these talks are going to be in this month of September 2025. And these talks are focusing on especially resolving of certain issues like tariff and as well as reciprocal duties and penalties linked to Russian oil imports. First one is you're talking about decreasing of 25% of tariff. It is a part of protectionist policy. And second one is they want to talk about even imposition of tariffs on Indian goods because of this Russian Sanction Act. Okay, so here because of this announcement we can see that there is decreasing of tensions between India and US. So whenever we are studying about international relations, if there are decreasing of tensions, then that period is called as thaw. So now here we are going to see this thaw, THAW, thaw in relations between India and US. After this kind of announcement it is made from the two sides. So what are the reasons why they are going for these talks here? So this move which comes after US tariffs are doubled to 50% on Indian goods. So actually India is mainly want to give certain relief to this sectors which are mainly affected by this tariff. So which sectors are going to be affected? As you all know that garments, gems and auto parts and even leather goods and as well as shrimp cultivation. So to all these sectors now government wants to give certain relief because exports from these sectors had been halted and even our goods are not much competitive in this US market. So because of this the production is decreasing and even that is leading to increasing of unemployment and it is also going to reduce our GDP. So because of all these things now our government want to take certain steps to provide relief to this sector so that they are going to continue with the stocks. And this one here is both countries they view these talks is a very important for greater economic potential and even as you all know that US and India relations should be very good and after this Trump 2.0 era started again there are some uncertainties which are going on. So because of this we want to focus on normalization of relations between India and US. So for that also they are focusing on this case. And this one is there is also additional pressure from US. Why? Because India and China relations also becoming better, right? So recently we are talking about Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, and we are also having multiple round of talks, and we are saying that we are going to completely resolve this border tensions. We are going to come up with a new agreements. So because of all these things, whenever this India-China relations will be becoming good, then it will be like it is not accepted by US because US and China are enemy countries. So in international relations, always will see that enemy's enemy will be our friend, friend's enemy will be our enemy. So if you apply that, so US will not accept India and China's good relations. So for that reason, there is increasing of pressure on this US to normalize the relationship between India and US. Okay, so what will be the impact, guys? The first one here is we can renew our trade dialogue and we can stabilize our Indian exports to US. And especially critical sectors like electronics, textiles, garments will be getting revamped now. And this one is, yes, actually our goods, they are not competitive in this US markets because the cheaper goods are coming from which countries? Bangladesh and Vietnam to US. So because of this, our goods are not competitive. So because of this talks, we can make our goods again competitive with this goods which are coming from Bangladesh and Vietnam to this US. And next one here is, yes, we can also contribute to our GDP now. If there are decreasing of tariffs, then what happen? Obviously, we can increase our production. We can boost our exports. Obviously, it will contribute to our GDP. And even we can improve jobs or employment opportunities in our country, guys. So these are the things that you have to remember, that's it. And we have to wait and watch like whether this tariff will be decreased or not. If decreased, how much percent decreased and on which sectors it is going to have impact again in the future classes. Okay. So now let us see the next article, see the title. Elephant electrocuted in Bandipur Tiger Reserve. So whenever you are getting this kind of tiger reserves, national parks, you have to know in detail about that location where it is there and whether there are any rivers which are flowing in that region or not. The flora and fauna which are present in that area, you have to know that. So this is very important from your environment and ecology. So remember one thing, guys, from environment and ecology, you will be getting for sure more than 15 questions in your prelims every year. And you have to know about our India's rich biological heritage also. So from that point of view, it is very important. And this topic is important from your environment and ecology, guys. Okay, so if you see some facts regarding this Bandipur Tiger Reserve, it is located in Mysore and Chamarajanagar. Okay, Chamarajanagar, and they are present in especially southern part of Karnataka. Okay, So in which state they are located? In state of Karnataka. And actually very important point is this tiger reserve is located at the tri-junction of 3 states. That is your Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala region. And geographically it is also very important because in these 3 areas, like wherever this meeting point of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu is there, it is also a meeting point of Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats. It is called as Nilagiri region. So here it is also very important from that point of view. And next one here is, it is a part of Nilagiri Biosphere Reserve and it is recognized as UNESCO's World Heritage Site also. And actually this tiger reserve is a part, it is mainly surrounded by some important tiger reserves, that is Nagarhole Tiger Reserve, which is located in Tamil Nadu. And next one is we have Mudumalai Tiger Reserve in Tamil Nadu, and even Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary, which is located in state of Kerala. So actually the similar kind of question was appeared in 2019 prelims, like they gave one tiger reserve and they said boundaries of this tiger reserve. So in that way, here you have to know about exactly which tiger reserves are there nearby, and all these are the part of this Nilagiri biosphere or not, you have to see. So if you see this 2019 prelims question, then you can understand like in which format they gave the question, guys. And if you see, there are certain rivers which are mainly surrounded, that is river Kabini and as well as river Moyar. And if you see the climate of this Bandipur Tiger Reserve, it is having tropical climate. And it is very much famous for dry deciduous to tropical mixed deciduous forest. And especially we can see certain trees like rosewood, Indian kino tree, sandalwood, Indian laurel, and even bamboo in this region. These are the famous trees which we can see in this region. And if you see the fauna, so we have the largest population of wild Asian elephants in this region. And even we can also see some other mammals like Bengal tiger, gaur, sloth, bear, golden jackal, dhole. Dhole is nothing but wild dog. And even 4-horned antelope also we can see in this region. So you can also get question on this flora and fauna, which of the following are seen in this Nilagiri Biosphere Reserve, like that. And now let us see the next article, see the title. Navy strengthens maritime ties with France, Mauritius through joint exercises. So this article is talking about joint exercise between India and France, India and Mauritius. So in our earlier classes, I said that you have to dedicate 1 page for writing of this exercise. And I said you have to note down the name of that exercise on one side, and you have to see between which country it is, and you have to see in which area it had been done in this year, and which edition is this, whether it is military or navy or army exercise, right? So from last 1 month onwards, there are many exercises which are there in news, right? So here this article is talking about maritime ties with France and as well as Mauritius through joint exercises. So actually what we'll do in these joint exercises? So first one here is we will focus on, especially we have interaction, and next one here is we have cross training visits. That is something but we are going for training of these 2 sides navy together, and we will be having joint diving exercises, and we have especially India-France partnership also. Okay, and in this exercises we'll go for especially we'll see about tactics, like which kind of techniques you are using in the warfare. And next one is we are going to see how they are tracking this aircraft and how they are going for communication, and communication drills will do. And next one here is we are also going to see cross decks helicopter landings as well. And this exercise 1 is PASEX. So one exercise is PASEX and second exercise is passage. Okay, so they are coming up with this exercise called as PASEX. Please make a note here. This exercise name is PASEX, PASSEX. But they didn't give entirely information in this article, like which edition is this and where they are conducting everything. So just Google about this PASEX exercise and please make a note of this PASEX exercise, guys. And see next article. So what is this? It is about digital platform to preserve tribal art culture launched. So this is very important article of the day. So recently we discussed about one app related to tribes. What is that? Adivani, not Vasi, Adivani app, right? So in that Adivani app, what we are doing? We are going for real-time text to speech and speech to text conversion of this tribal languages into Hindi and English, so that we are going for preservation of tribal languages, because tribal languages are extincting day by day, right? So here this is about one digital platform, and in this platform we are going for preservation of tribal art and culture. So earlier what we discussed, that Adivani app, it is about only tribal language preservation, and for culture and art now we have one more digital platform that is called as Adi Sanskriti. So please make a note, Adi Sanskriti. Adi Sanskriti. So you may get a question here. Recently Adivani is seen in news. What it is? It is related to preservation of tribal language. So recently Adi Sanskriti is in news. What is it? So it is focusing on preservation of tribal art and culture. Don't confuse with these two. Okay. And this topic is very, very important, guys. And especially for anthropology student, we have paper 2, which is related to this tribal anthropology. There you have to add this kind of updates, guys. Okay, now let us see the context. So bridging tradition with technology, now the Ministry of Tribal Affairs unveiled beta version of Adi Sanskriti, and it is a digital learning platform. And in this platform, we are focusing on preservation of tribal art and as well as tribal culture, so that it will enable livelihoods of this people. So actually these tribal people are very, very famous for their own traditional art, and as well as especially they will be having making of habit of an arty crafts. Okay, so they are like, for example, if you go to Kenya, they are very, very specialist in bead making earrings or bead making jewelry. And even you know about this coolaring. In that coolaring, we discussed about exchanging of armbands and as well as necklaces. They are made up of seashells. So they are very much interested in making of their own jewelry by locally available materials. Okay, and even they are very much good at making of their own carpets like that. So even lots of the times in news also we can see like so and so tribal related product got GI tag like that. So for the protection of all those things, we need a digital platform. For that, we came up with this Adi Sanskriti now. So actually, this Adi Sanskriti is one of the world's first digital university to preserve and to promote culture and as well as traditional knowledge of tribal communities. So actually, they will also provide an online marketplace for the world to assess the products that are made by these tribal artisans. So that what happens? So here, tribal people, they can directly sell their products through this online platform, so that we can protect their livelihood. And actually in this Adi Sanskriti, we have 3 important things. First one is Adi Vishwa Vidyalaya. It is nothing but Digital Tribal Art Academy. So currently there are around 45 courses they are providing on tribal dances, tribal paintings, crafts, music and folklore. Folklore. And this one is they are focusing on Adi Sampada. It is nothing but socio-cultural repository. They are preserving around 5,000 documents regarding these tribes. Especially they are focusing on paintings, dances, clothing and textiles, artifacts, and as well as livelihood related things. And this one is we have Adi Hart, that is nothing but online marketplace. So it is mainly linked with this TriFed, so that here we can provide a dedicated online platform where the tribal people, where they can sell their goods here. Okay, so these are the some advantages of this Adi Sanskriti, guys. And next, let us see this article. So this article is talking about the way forward on Kachativu Park Strait disputes. So this article is very, very important from your international relations point of view. So actually, if you see here, we have one island. What is this island? Sri Lanka, right? So here we have Kachativu Islands, and here what is a line which is dividing between India and Sri Lanka, that is called as Park Strait, right? So actually the issue here is about this Kachativu Islands. So Kachativu Islands is very, very near to our Tamil Nadu. Okay, especially from Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu, it is just 16 to 18 kilometers only. So actually, what is the issue of this Kachativu? Kachativu is a uninhabited island. No one is living on that island. It is an uninhabited island, and it is very near to this Tamil Nadu. So actually what was happened was, if you go to see the history of this Kachativu Islands. In 1974, at that time, Indira Gandhi and as well as this Prime Minister of this Sri Lanka, Prime Minister of India and as well as Prime Minister of Sri Lanka came up with an agreement. And in this agreement, India recognizes Kachativu as part of Sri Lanka. Okay, so here in 1974, till 1974, we said that this Kachativu is the part of Indian island. But in 1974, what happened? So Indian government made an agreement. In this agreement, they said that yes, Kachativu now will be the part of Sri Lanka. And why this Kachativu is in news now is recently here this president of Sri Lanka, he visited this Kachativu island and he made a statement. We are going to save our land, and Kachativu is integral part of Sri Lanka. So this is a statement which made by the president recently, I think 3 to 4 days ago, and he said that yes, we have to save this Kachativu islands. So what is the issue between India and Sri Lanka regarding that Kachativu is, as you all know that Tamil Nadu coastal people, they depend on fishing for their livelihood. So they'll go for the fishing, and actually this is uninhabited island. That means no one is living in that. But here, whenever fishermen are going for the fishing, they'll use this island for drying of their fishing nets. If there is any problem in their boat, they will do some repairs in that island like that. And not only that, here what our Indian fishermen they do, that is Tamil Nadu fishermen do is, so actually we will focus on deep trawling. So actually most of the fishermen in India, they continue this deep trawling. Deep trawling is nothing but they'll take heavy nets and they'll use mechanized boats, and whenever the boat is moving like that, so they'll throw the net into the water, and whatever the species which are there in that area, they will try to grab all these fishes. So because of this, what happened, even small seedlings, that is nothing but small fishes which are there, they will be also brought out by this using of this mechanized trawling. So what happens? So here from this Indian side, actually this deep trawling and mechanized boats are unsustainable fishing practices. So because of this, within this India side, we can't find much amount of fish. So whenever this fishermen, they are entering into this water, so they have always an aim. What is that aim? To bring more fishes into their coast so that they can earn something, they can ensure their livelihood. So here from Indian side, we can't find huge number of fishes because of this exploitation of fishing already had been done from the Indian side. So what our fishermen do is they will cross this international line. Okay, what are the international maritime boundaries there between India and Sri Lanka? They'll often cross this. If they cross this, will the Sri Lanka people be silent? No. Now Sri Lankan Navy and Sri Lankan Coast Guard will come and they will arrest our Indian fishermen. So this is an issue which is going on since decades onwards from this 1974. So because of this is in news now. So actually they feel that this Kachativu is integral part of Sri Lanka, and even 1974 agreement of India says that yes, they recognized officially this Kachativu Islands as part of Sri Lanka. But after that government changed, again because of this change of government, again the claims of this Kachativu started in India. Okay, and frequently our Indian fishermen also, they will cross this international maritime boundary between India and Sri Lanka, and often this fisherman news will be there. Okay, often we can see this kind of news in the newspaper that so and so fishermen from this Tamil Nadu had been caught by this Sri Lankan Navy and their ships had been taken out like that. You will be getting lots of articles here. So this is about this issue, and this article is talking about what will be the solution for this Kachativu Island and as well as Park Strait issue, and it's nothing but fishermen rights. Okay, it is about India's fishermen rights. So this article is important from your GS paper 2 under international relations, and even it is also related to the fishing sector. That means it can also contribute a lot to our GDP. So it is also important from your economy point of view. And if fishermen who are being arrested frequently, who are kept in the jail, and whenever the Sri Lanka is not allowing to release them, means it is also having impact on their family members. So it is also important from your society from GS1 and GS paper 2 point of view, guys. So now let us see the context. So the way forward on this Kachativu and Park Strait disputes involves legal, diplomatic and sustainable resource management solutions. So here if you want to come up with the solution for this Kachativu and Pak Strait issue, frequent fishermen issue is, we have to come up with the legal, that means we need to come up with the laws, and we have to go for diplomacy. Diplomacy is nothing but talks between two countries. And not only that, we need to focus on sustainable resource management. Sustainable resource management is about, we have to go for sustainable fishing practices, but not using of deep trawlers. Okay, already we exploited lots of fishes in that region. So because of that, there is no proper availability of fish from Indian side. Okay, so these are the three solutions that we can come up with the solution for this fishermen issue between India and Sri Lanka. Okay, so these disputes are driven by historical claims and even contested fishing grounds, and because of environmental degradation, so it is having significant impacts on our local livelihoods, bilateral relations and as well as maritime stability. So what are the issues here is, the first one is Kachativu dispute. So Kachativu Island is a small uninhabited island in the Pak Strait region, which is ceded is nothing but given to Sri Lanka in this 1974 agreement, and this agreement was made by Indira Gandhi government. Okay, and which remains legally a controversial issue due to the claims it was not properly ratified in India. And after that government changed, and after this government change, they said that yes, we ceded that, but India didn't sign that. I don't know why everything. So because of this changing of government, they are saying that India didn't ratify that. This Kachativu is part of India. And this one is Pak Strait dispute. So there is a persistent fishing conflicts between India and Sri Lanka because our Indian fishermen, mainly from Tamil Nadu, they crosses international maritime boundary and they'll enter into the Sri Lankan water because depletion of this fishes from Indian side, because we are following this deep trawling mechanisms where it is it is like exploitative fishing practices. So because of this, fishes are not getting from Indian side, so they are going to the Sri Lankan side. Okay, so because of this, we have issue between India and Sri Lanka. Two issues. First one is Kachativu, second one is crossing of this Pak Strait. And what are the drivers of this dispute now? So as I said, the first one is 1974 agreement, and next one here is, we are having resource scarcity, especially overfishing and exploitation of this fishing, ecological damage now it is happening. So because of this, now it is pushing our fishermen to enter into the Sri Lankan waters. And next one is security concerns. Always Sri Lanka fears that illegal fishing and potential militant movements or arms trafficking is happening because of this fishing vessels. So as you all know that between India and Sri Lanka, we have like Tamil riots, and as well as LTTE issue also we have between India and Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka is having security issues that if Indians are crossing international maritime boundary through using this fishing or boats etc., they are also trafficking arms. Okay, so because of this, it is causing anti-Tamil riots in the Sri Lanka. So that is also one security issue they are having. And apart from that, the issue is periodically raised in Indian political disclosure, especially in this Tamil Nadu elections, during this Tamil Nadu elections times. So always this issue will be raised that Kachativu is our island. If you vote for this political party or my political party, I will bring it back to India. Like that, they will do the election promises or electoral campaigns like that. So because of this, frequently this thing will be there in the news. And what are the solutions? This article is saying that we have to come up with the legal solutions. So India's Supreme Court is said to hear the petitions which are challenging about the legitimacy of 1974 Kachativu agreements, and based on that we have to come up with the constitutional procedures, and as well as we have to set up a precedent for the territorial changes. So for example, if you see Article 1 to Article 5, it talks about union and its territory, right? So in that, if you want to cede any part of our country to other country, or if you want to take other country part to our country, so you have to see which article is talking about. It is majorly Article 3 and Article 4. So based on that, we have to make any constitutional amendments or not, or any change in our constitution or not. Is there any requirement of law or not? So based on that, we have to come up with a proper legal procedure regarding finalization of this Kachativu Island Agreement of 1974. And apart from that, we have to go for bilateral channels, and we have to negotiate with this two governments, and we have to come up with the protocols properly for the fishing rights, and we have to go for joint resource management. And this one is we have to go for sustainable fisheries. So actually our government need to restrict this bottom trawling, and as well as we have to invest in alternative livelihoods. So we have to stop these people to cross this international maritime boundary. So they need to have the proper GPS. So in water, for example, if you are going in the land, we can understand like which is the border and which is not the border. So that is not the case in this water, right? So if you enter into the water, if you see around, nothing will be there, only water will be surrounded around you. So there we can't see which is the border and which is not the border. So here properly these fishermen need a proper equipment, GPS equipment, so that they will not cross this border. And this one here is local community engagement is also very important. So here we have to make this local fisher community men to involve, and we have to organize cooperative ventures, and as well as we have to go for compensation packages. So when we are diverting that people from that so and so livelihood to another livelihood, they need a proper skill, proper training, and even proper investment to start other business. So for that, government need to provide some compensation packages, and even we have to provide awareness to these fishermen about the what are the maritime laws that we have. So till which region they can go for fishing, everything they need to know. And this one is we need to have a periodic high level visits, so that we can improve people to people contact and culture exchanges between India and Sri Lanka, guys. So through these ways we can come up with a solution for this long standing problem called as Kachativu Island issue, and as well as Park Strait issue, which is leading to this fisherman issue between India and Sri Lanka. So these are the important topics that happened in our today's Hindi newspaper. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much guys for watching, and please do like this class and share this class, and do subscribe to Rathod Science Academy, and you can follow us on our Instagram page. The link is given in description box. So there you can get children's question with answer, and as well as mains question with model answer, and also current affairs in short. And if you want to get this PDF, you can join the Telegram channel. Link is given in this description box. Okay. So thank you so much guys.